Hey guys, this is Upesh from Mio.com, and if there's one smartphone segment that got major upgrades in 2021, it has to be the sub 20k smartphone segment. I mean, in this price range, you can now get a phone with a Super AMOLED display with high refresh rate. You can get a phone with a 108 megapixel camera, 65 watt charging, 8 series chipsets, even 5G and a lot more. So that's pretty awesome, but that also means there are a lot of good phones in this price range. So the big question is, which phone should you buy under 20k? Well, I've actually divided this video into 5 sections to make it more convenient to you guys. So there's the best phone for software experience, there's the best phone for performance and gaming, there's the best all-round phone under 20k, best phone under 15k, and lastly best phone for 5G. Now I've added chapters in this video so you can head to the section that makes more sense to you. Now let's start with the best phone for the software experience. So there are actually two smartphone makers that offer a clean stock Android experience under 20k. There's Motorola and there's Micromax. Now I think the Motorola phones offer a better experience. So if you're looking to buy a phone with the best software experience under 20k, I think you should go for the new Motorola phones, the Moto G40 or the Moto G60 Fusion, whatever is in your budget. I mean, let me talk about the good and the bad of the Moto G60. The good obviously is the clean stock Android experience. There's no weird bloatware here, no spammy features or notifications. Plus, the 732G chipset is good, so the performance is great, and the 6000 mAh battery lasts crazy long. As for the bad, the design isn't that great. It's plasticky and a little heavy. The camera isn't bad, but it's kind of average, even with a 108 megapixel sensor, and the 20 watt charger isn't the fastest. Also, you know what? I don't like that Motorola quietly hiked the price of the G60 and the G40 by 500 rupees. Having said that, I think both the Moto G40 and the Moto G60 are great phones for people who are non-geeks, basically people who don't want a complicated experience, or parents who want a good simple phone that's not filled with bloatware, recommendations and spammy notifications that they don't know how to disable. Next up, the best phone under 20k for gaming, or if you want the ultimate performance. Now, to be honest, there are actually a lot of great phones that bring a lot of power in this price range. For example, there's also the Realme X7 and the Narzo 30 Pro with Dimensity 800U, which is actually a pretty capable chipset. But the phone that brings the most power in this price range is the Poco X3 Pro. Look, what makes me recommend this phone is the performance that Snapdragon 860 chipset brings. I mean, the camera is decent too, and the battery performance and charging is good too. But yeah, the performance is the big highlight. See, I have reviewed the Poco X3 Pro in the past, and yes, it's actually the phone to buy if you want high-end performance and gaming on a budget. I mean, 8 series chipset does get a little warm, but I think most phones with 8 series chipsets get a little hot. It's not overheating. Other than that, it's just a very good performer. Now, talking about the bad, you'd know that the X3 Pro is not my favorite when it comes to looks or the size. It's kind of hefty. It also does not have AMOLED, but if you're okay with these points and performance is what really matters to you, well, the Poco X3 Pro is then the best choice. Now, I've talked about the phone to get for the best software experience. I've talked about the phone to get for gaming performance, but which is like the all-round great smartphone to buy under 20k. A phone that basically works for everyone and does well on all the fronts. Well, I had to choose between the Realme 8 Pro and the Redmi Note 10 Pro Max. And you know what? After a lot of consideration, I think it was pretty easy. I think the best all-round smartphone under 20k has to be the Redmi Note 10 Pro Max or the Redmi Note 10 Pro, whichever is in your budget. I mean, when it comes to the good and bad section in the Redmi Note 10 Pro or the Pro Max, you'll notice that the bad section only has MIUI bugs, and that's because that's the only thing really. The Redmi Note 10 Pro and the Max bring a very good 120Hz AMOLED. The camera performance is very, very good for the price. And the rest of the phone, be it on the performance front or even the battery and charging, is just solid. I mean, the phone even looks great. Now, you know what? When I was using the phone, I felt like I was using a good premium phone. And yeah, I told you about the few minor MIUI bugs I did come across. But those weren't exactly deal breakers if you ask me. So the Redmi Note 10 Pro or the Pro Max is, I think, the phone to buy under 20k if you want a perfect balance of all things. So I think the above phones kind of cover the whole 14 to 20k price segment. I think that's pretty clear sorted. But what if you have a budget of 12,000 rupees or 13,000 rupees? Which phone should you get then? Well, the Poco M3 Pro is coming, and that could be a good option. But I think right now at 12-13k, I think you should go for the Redmi Note 10. I mean, for a phone that starts at around 12k, it has some really good points. The AMOLED panel is great. The performance and camera is just solid. The battery is long lasting. The phone is compact and nice. So it's actually a great phone to buy at this price. I mean, MIUI 12 at this price has a few issues. We all know that. But that's pretty much it. Look, at 12K, the Redmi Note 10 is, I think, easy to recommend. Now, one thing to note here is that I'm not recommending the Moto G30 here for the stock Android experience, because that's a phone that brings HD 720p display in 2021 in this price segment, and that's not cool. Now, first up, let me make it clear that 5G phones in India right now are a gimmick. Nobody knows which 5G bands will be allocated. 5G network is a long way away. And you know what? If you don't live in a metro city, it's going to take even longer. So yeah, right now, for all purposes, phone manufacturers are using 5G as just a marketing term. However, if you still really want a 5G phone, I think the best option is this, the Realme 8 5G. I mean, the big thing to note here is that it has the most number of 5G bands in this price range. Yes, it has these 5G bands, which is a lot more than a lot of other flagship 5G phones in India. So yeah, this is good. Also, this is a decent phone with a compact design and very good performance thanks to the Dimensity 700 chipset. Yeah, IPS LCD and 18-watt charging are kind of downgrades when compared to the Realme 8. But other than that, it's actually a very decent phone. Well, those are basically my choices for the best phones under 15K. And if you still have any more questions, any doubts, just make sure to comment below and I'll try and answer as many questions as I can. So make sure to comment below. Also, like this video if you enjoyed it, make sure to share it and subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. Well, that's me signing off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.